Alright, let's get ready to do this. What is going on, guys? My name is Landon, and today I am bringing you guys the recap for Call of Duty Championships 2015. What is going on, guys? My name is Landon, and today I'm bringing you guys another video. So what we're going to be talking about is the Call of Duty Championships 2015 recap. The biggest tournament of the year is over, but we still got a lot of Call of Duty to play. But I'm going to be kind of recapping what happened, my thoughts over the event as a whole, and possibly some roster mania to come. So hopefully you guys stay and enjoy the whole video. I'm really looking forward to making this one, and yeah, so let's get right into it. Alright, so first, before we do anything, we're going to go over the placings, going from 8th to 1st. You might see some teams that you recognize very early on, just how the tournament went. It was crazy. We'll kind of go over how each team played, and yeah. So, starting in 8th place, we had Team Caliber, who did place 8th. Like I said, they went away with $25,000. In 7th place was Optic Gaming, who got $35,000. 6th place was PLT Mind Freak, the Australian team. The team that I thought would do well. We'll talk about that later. Finishing with $50,000. In 5th, it was Automatic Reload, winning over Winning $70,000. And 4th was Prophecy, winning $100,000. And 3rd was Phase Red, winning $120,000. And 2nd was TR, winning $200,000. And in 1st, the Call of Duty World Champions themselves were Denial Esports, winning $400,000. $100,000 a piece, man. That's a lot of money. That's your money for the rest of the year. Definitely deserve it. Now had an amazing tournament. Took out a lot of really top teams. So what we're going to do is kind of go over the groups, how the groups went, and then we'll go ahead and go over to the tournament. I don't want to make this video super long and super like in-depth because you guys kind of already know what happened. I'll still be going over a lot of key things, but I'm not going to like focus on every single game that went down because there was a lot of games that went down. Like clearly everyone knows that. There was 5 streams actually. Actually no, there was like 7 or 8. They had like A through H streams, like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, etc. They had like an Italian stream, they had a French stream, and like I think like a Spanish stream. I don't know if they had any more than that, but that was insane. Shout out to all those, you know, the people that commentated over that. Really awesome that they did that stuff. So let's go and get into the groups. So what we're going to be doing is kind of going over each group, you know, A, B, and so on and so forth, and kind of just go over who got in the top 2 and why I was surprised, why I was not surprised, and whatnot. So let's go ahead and start off with Group A. Group A was Optic Gaming finishing 3-0 in their pool. Not a surprise, only dropped 1 map the entire group play for them. And Orbit obviously finishing 2-1, got that 2nd spot. Orbit had a very good tournament. Really surprised and very happy for them on how they did. And the 2 teams that were eliminated off the bat were NXG Rapid and Vitality X. So just so you guys know, the top 2 teams from each pool moved on. The bottom 2 that didn't were eliminated off the bat. So just so you guys know that, just to have that in the back of your head, just in case you didn't already know that. So in Group B, it was Prophecy finishing first 3-0. Denial finishing 2-1, getting that 2nd spot. Like I said, Prophecy getting the 1st spot. This is actually a really close game, and I actually said that this will come down to whoever wins the Prophecy versus Denial game. Obviously, we can predict that. Prophecy actually won that game. Very surprised on how that game went. Very close game. Went to map 5. Prophecy were able to get that map out. However, Denial able to win the entire tournament. So who kind of got the revenge, I guess you could say. We'll be talking about revenge later in the tournament. So that was Hyper Games and Clarity Gaming getting eliminated in Group B. For Group C, it was FaZe Red finishing first, 3-0 in their pool, and Automatic Reload getting 2nd. Not really surprised there. You know, no offense to the Fabe teams, I just wasn't really impressed with them. There was actually a really good game between Fabe, both of their teams. I guess they were kind of like brother teams. And I think the Germany team actually came back and beat them. Like, they were down 2-0, and it was like coming down to, I believe it was the CTF, and the Germany team ended up coming back. So that was a really good game. But unfortunately, those 2 teams were both eliminated from the bracket. In Group D, not the bracket, the group. In Group D, we had Optic Nation finishing 3-0 in their pool, only dropping 1 map, and Gamers 2 finishing 2nd. I'm also moving on. The 2 teams that didn't move on were Exile and SSOF Gaming. Not really surprised by SSOF. Exile, I thought might be Gamers. It was definitely down to that game between Gamers 2 and Exile. Gamers 2 actually 3-0'd them to start off the bracket, so that was really interesting for them. Shout out to Gamers 2, a very good team. Really did well this tournament, you know, for them. So I was really happy about that. In Group E, we had Envy finishing first, 3-0. Didn't even drop a single map in their group. No one else did that besides them. And in the second seed, it was Planet Mind Freak, or Planetronics Mind Freak. I think it's how you say. I'm just gonna say Mind Freak. Did very well. Obviously placed in the top 8. I'll talk more about them later. And the only team that they lost to was Envy. So big shout out to them for finishing that. So Team Menace or Team Finland and Under 8X Gaming did not move on. So that's kind of sad. Moving on to Group F, we had TR finishing in the first spot and Aware. This is the UK team finishing second in this pool. 3's up, weren't able to get out of this pool, and Infuse didn't even get a single map on the board. Obviously, all of them will be the same. It's like 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, and 0-3, but unfortunately, Infuse not able to make it. Their whole team wasn't actually there. I believe they were playing with their coach, which is really, really unfortunate for them, but it was TR and Aware moving on from Group F. From Group G, we had FaZe Black and Below Zero making out of this pool. Super, super shocking. These two last pools were like literally I think everyone in the UK had a heart attack when they first saw TCM. Not really, I was just saying that figuratively. TCM didn't move on. Below Zero beat TCM. Everyone was shocked about that and how that game went. Below Zero actually 3-0'd them. Like that's insane. TCM's obviously in Season 2. That was definitely a big shock for me. Speaking on FaZe Black had a really good group. Finished 3-0. Dropped a couple maps, but still were able to come out of that bracket. And Below Zero, shout out to Below Zero, had a really good tournament. TCM eliminated, as well as Essentia Gaming. So there you go. In Group H, the group of death was TK, finishing in first, 3-0. SB came out with the second seed, 2-1, and Epsilon in that 1 and 2 spot. And Integral Nation, obviously, getting eliminated, as well as Epsilon. So for me, this was a huge deal as well. Obviously, the two best teams, especially Epsilon, getting eliminated, not even moving on to the bracket. They were eliminated the first day. So that was TK and SB moving on from Group 8. So we're going to go over the winners bracket a little bit and kind of go over the placings. Don't want to make this video too long, like I said. So let's go and get into the next portion of the video. So as you guys can see here, we're looking at the winners bracket. I'm not sure how you guys are going to see this. I might just show you guys the CODpedia page, or I might find a graphic. Either way, you guys are going to see this. So as you guys can see, the way they had the brackets up were kind of a little bit different. They actually had A playing B, C, like they had the brackets a little bit differently than they had last year. How they would have it is they would have the top team from Group H, or the top team from Group A, play the second seed from Group H. So it kind of like, go in that kind of line of how you guys can kind of obviously tell. Like B would play G and whatnot, and so on and so forth. So that didn't actually happen. Optic Gaming ended up playing Denial first round. That to me was going to be my grand final game, and it was the first game that Optic and Denial would play in the winners bracket. Denial able to take that game. OG honestly just didn't have the best series. I hate to say it, they really just didn't play very well. Denial obviously winning the entire tournament. To lose to a team like Denial isn't like, to be honest, it's not a bad loss for OG. Obviously, you want to win every game, but if you're going to lose to someone, at least you lost to the team that won. You know what I mean? So that would knock down Optic Gaming to the losers bracket. Looking at some other games, Aware actually beat Envy, knocked them down to the losers bracket. ON off the bat also lost and was moved on to the losers bracket from AR. AR had an amazing tournament. Definitely a shout out to them. Looking at some other things, SB actually knocked out FaZe Black. Was kind of surprised about that. Actually had FaZe Black moving on pretty far in my bracket, and Orbit getting knocked down by Prof. So looking at the losers bracket now, OG ended up playing Below Zero. That was a really close series. It says 3-0, but every game was really, really close. And later on, SB would get knocked out by Prof. SB would play OG. SB would just lose that game. Really close series, like I said, for that one as well. Optic able to come out with that. Honestly, Optic Slang was on point that game. Really played well. And SB, to be honest, to take a map off them was pretty surprising to me. I was pretty surprised by that. Later on in the tournament, FaZe Red was knocked down to the losers bracket by TR. TR had an insane event. I cannot stress how good this Team Revenge team is, or this TR team is. They're kind of like a bunch of unknown players who grind out the game. I had TR in my top 8, I believe. I think I might not have, but they're a really talented team. I should have had them in the top 4 or 5. I really thought that they could place that high. TR a very, 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 very talented group of players that aren't really known, so they're definitely getting known now. That's 100% sure. So FaZe Red getting eliminated or getting moved to losers bracket by TR. They would later go on to play Envy. Envy would get knocked out by FaZe Red. FaZe Red would play OG. FaZe Red able to take that series 3-0. You know, this was actually the point where Optic Gaming was out of the tournament. FaZe Red really just played super strong in their 2 games. They later came to come back uplink for Game 3. FaZe Red completely dominated that game. I was honestly thinking that Optic might be able to make a comeback, but being down 0-2 and you know you're basically on the verge of losing the way you did, it was really unfortunate to see. So like that, FaZe Red moves on. Optic Gaming eliminated. They later go on to play TK. TK would lose to Planetronix. Mindfreak, they later lose to Mindfreak, who was an Australian team. Mindfreak, like I said, they can beat these top teams. Were able to do so. They beat out TK, and TK and OG would play for that 7th/8th spot. And Optic was able to take that series 3-2, I believe. It was a really, really close game. But to be honest, both of those teams were really, really demoralized, and really, you know, it was kind of just like we'll just play, like, you know, it wasn't like really a really big deal. AR would later play FaZe Red. FaZe Red would take them out. Prof would play Mindfreak. Prof able to take that game. Was kind of surprised on how well Prof played them. Beat them 3-0. Going on to the winners bracket, it was Denial, TR, FaZe Red, and Prof left. Denial played TR, able to beat them 3-2, a very, very close game. Very surprised on how well TR did. Just props to them. And after that, Denial would be moved on to the grand final. FaZe Red would play Prof. FaZe able to beat them 3-0. I believe Slasher had a really, really good series for that game, or that series overall, as well as Enable played really well that game also. So Prof would be eliminated, but I believe they get 4th. And then TR would go on to play FaZe Red. TR beats them 3-1. I cannot tell you guys how shocked I was to see that. FaZe Red, obviously coming off a 3-0 victory. FaZe Red had eliminated Envy. They eliminated Optic. They had eliminated team after team after team. They go to play TR, and TR beats them 3-1. Like, this TR team is someone not to mess with. They actually beat Denial, and they actually knocked them down to losers bracket in the last tournament. And Denial was able to come back and get 2nd to Optic, but still, this TR team, man, they are so good. I cannot tell you guys how good they really are. Aqua, an amazing player, and you know, their whole lineup is really good. I'm just pointing out Aqua. So TR would later play FaZe Red, like I said. TR would beat them, so that'd be Denial versus TR in the grand final. An amazing, amazing series. I believe Denial came out strong and won the first 2 maps. Is that right? I might be wrong. I believe they did, or maybe no. Actually, I think Denial won the first one. TR won the second one. Either way, if TR was able to take this series, they would have gone to a 2nd best of 5, like all the other tournaments. It's not a best of 11. I would have preferred personally to see a best of 11. I would have absolutely loved to see that. I think we could have maybe even saw a game 11 possibly. So, it came down to the last map, Riot S&D. An insane game. This is probably the best game that I've seen in the entire tournament. Not the best series, but the best game. Riot S&D was basically down to who could win. JCap got a really, really good amount of clutch kills in the last game, and they almost got a sneak defuse. JCap almost got a sneak defuse to win the game, and it later went on to the next round. I believe it went to round 10. I'm not 100% sure about that, but regardless, Denial able to take the first series 3-2, and they ended up winning the tournament. So, for me, Denial played very, very well. I'm super excited for them. You know, Clayster getting that ring. The whole team of Denial, if you guys didn't know, is Replays, JCap, Attach, and Clay. I love them getting their first ring. Clayster definitely deserves it. Something to point out, Attach's first ever tournament win was getting Call of Duty Championship, so that was really good for him. Replays, a grinder, definitely deserved to get that ring. And JCap, a longtime veteran, a player that's... Everyone thought that he was doing terrible at the beginning of the game. He did. He had like a 0.7 KD at some of the events he was playing at. Definitely has turned it up, and this Denial team looks very, very strong. So, overall, I'm going to go and give you guys my last thing. MVPs of the tournament, it was definitely Clayster for me, but overall, I had to give it to Clay. I think Aqua was really close. If TR would have won, I would have said Aqua, probably just for the team that wins, but Clayster played out of his mind. A leader. He literally led his team to playing how well they did. They took out Optic. They took out a lot of these good teams. And Denial just played a great tournament. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. So, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to click all my links down below. I have been Air Landon. I will see you guys later. Have a great day. Not sure what this is. Oh, I just Illuminati. Oh, well. Bye.